Hi, everybody. It's Craig and Indian Cowboy back with your salt and pepper. We're going to cover all the MLB plays for Thursday, the 19th of June. Yeah, where has the month gone? Since I saw IC last, I turned 50 IC. I'm an old man now. I'm like, see a little bit of the gray hair right here coming through.
You look like you're 35.
Yeah, well, after partying in Vegas for like a week, I don't feel like 35.
Yeah, you look like the Indian Cowboy.
Hey, but we're gonna cover all the games. So we have 16 games today. I think there's 15 with lines. We're gonna be usually Thursday's a little shorter card, so we've got some early games, some late games in between. So we'll talk about all those games. But before we get to it, don't forget DocSports.com/free60. That's where you get a free $60 account to check us out. That's where you can get our top plays for all new customers. Of course, you're an existing customer. Just go to the grid. I'm going to have looking like a 6-unit play in the NBA today to finish, up the playoffs. Maybe we have another game, but game 6 in Indiana, Pacers and the Thunder tonight. And I think you said you have a ML or a WNBA play, right? Tell us about what you're going to have for Thursday.
I do. WNBA has been a winning season so far. So we won with a sharp selection on Connecticut at home, getting it done. So, and we went 3-0 last weekend in the WNBA as well. It's been a good stretch run here. And so we're looking forward to posting another WNBA 7-unit WNBA selection tomorrow. I might have an 8-unit tomorrow. We'll see. NBA playoffs went well. I know you have a top play in the NBA. I closed out with a winning year, and I'm going to protect that thing like a 16-year-old. Oh yeah. See, I got to be careful with what I say here because then people go crying to our bosses. But I have some good jokes, man. And maybe we'll all meet out in Vegas. But like a 16-year-old holds on to his,
Yeah. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. That. Thank you, Craig. Thank you. That helps me actually.
So
I won't get in trouble now.
But don't forget, even though we don't have top plays in we're only going to have so many top plays. And we say top plays, we say 5 to 8 units is our top play. But we still might have in other sports. Right now, you have MLB, WNBA, NBA tomorrow, CFL kicking up. So even though we don't have a top play, and that's 5 to 8 units, we still might have other plays in other sports. So if you go over to DocSports.com, you go into the members area, go get it. MLB, you can buy a week pass. You can buy single plays in the other sports. So make sure you check them out. And don't forget, we got some, if you want to try us out without trying out the full package, go to YouTube and YouTube Premium and Premium Plus. Premium is $19.99 a month. That's Indian Cowboys level 1. Tell them what they get, I see, with that one.
Yeah, so I do a video every single day, and usually has 5 free selections. And with YouTube Premium, you get an extra video every single day with an extra 5 selections, and you get my total of the day, which is on a 10-5 run, which is pretty good return. And so you get about 150 selections all for just $20 a month, which is insane. And then if you get Premium Plus, you not only get mine, just like a TV channel, you not only get mine, but you also get Docs Premium Plus, which is an extra 3 Docs Premium plays, each $30. You're getting a $90 value times 30. So you're getting $2,700 worth of picks, all for $50 a month. So you get those 3 premium picks, and you get my daily video every single day as well. So I hope you join on YouTube Premium or Premium Plus. It's just a lot of value that you can add to get ahead over everybody else.
And don't forget, you want to purchase that on your desktop. So you click the link in the description. If you do it on the desktop, they don't charge you an extra fee. If you do it on your phone, it's not like we get any extra. It's basically the Apple and Google store that gets that extra money, and they pass that fee on to you guys. So make sure you do it under the desktop. Click the link under the desktop, and then it will renew every month at that price. We don't up it. We don't raise it. It's like it'll just renew, and then you can cancel it anytime. So make sure you get in on that. Click the link in the description. All right. So Thursday action, big card, and we're going to kick it off here. My Reds, they're in a rain delay right now. They were delayed to start. Reds are winning. I think I see you said a play on that one, so hopefully they cancel that and you get that game winner. But we see the Reds on an early game on Thursday, 12:40, Minnesota coming to finish out this series, and the Reds are hot. If they win this one, they'll be a 9-2 run. Reds favored by -111, total 9. What do you like here, I see?
Well, the Reds are hot and the Twins are not. So the Twins are sitting here now down. They've lost 6 in a row, and I think,
by the way, so the Reds did win 4-2.
Yeah, that's great news for me. That's back-to-back baseball winners for me, and as well as I do, baseball's hard. So winning back-to-back baseball is like, it's like a 16-year-old, and then we'll stop there.
Yeah.
So you have the Twins here who's lost 6 in a row coming in. Man, they're 500 now. If they lose another game, they'll be under 500. And they've now come off back-to-back losses to these Reds, which got us stuck. And the Cincinnati rolls, and Cincinnati's just been on fire. We knew this team had a lot of talent in the beginning of the year. Now it's coming to fruition. They've now won 4 in a row. They just beat the Twins, obviously, in back-to-back games, 6-5 and 4-2. You have Paddock here and Martinez. And by the way, Martinez made a great glove save or a great catch recently. I saw that on a reel. But you have the Twins here, and Paddock has not faced Cincinnati this year. He comes off one of his worst starts of the year, probably his worst start. 4 innings, 12 hits, and 8 runs in his last game. He's going to bounce back, and to his credit, he had put together 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight quality starts against some good teams. Baltimore, San Francisco, Cleveland, Tampa Bay, Seattle, Toronto. So he is definitely going to bounce back today. The only thing is Martinez rolls into this game with a 3.92 ERA. He has not faced Minnesota this year. And he also comes off a loss. 5 innings, 8 hits, and 4 runs. And he gave up 3 home runs in his last game, which is the most he's given up all year. He had gone 6 innings, 6 hits, and 1 run against Arizona. He'd been a little sketchy against the Cubs, a little sketchy against Kansas City. This game can go either way. It is really hard to go against the to go against the Reds. So what you have here is a Reds team that's hot, and Martinez here that is on a bounce back. Then you have a Twins team that's on a bounce back, and Paddock that's also on a bounce back. What's interesting is the total of this game is 9. That's pretty high total. I'm actually going to surprise you, and I might even take the Twins here. I just think that you have Paddock, who's such a phenomenal pitcher, who comes off such a bad start. I think he's going to pitch well, especially coming off 8 earned runs and 3 home runs. I think he's going to pitch well. I think the Twins finally end their streak. Plus, they're only backed by 25% of the public. All right, now you have the Angels here. The next game as they hook up as the Yankees. Yankees minus 270 favorite here. But the Angels are the ones that have won 3 in a row coming into this game. And so you have Anderson and Rodon here. What do you think?
Well, the Yankees just not been good. I mean, there's no way to really sugarcoat it. I mean, they lost the first few in this series, and they're just 3-7 in their last 10 games. And the Angels, don't look now, they're 1 game below 500, and they're playing really good baseball now. Anderson is definitely the lesser of the 2 pitchers, so you should be favored if you're Yankees. But this is kind of out of hand with this kind of number. So I think you have to look at trying to find other ways to play this game. And when I look at that kind of thing, I'm looking at props. I like Rodon to bounce back tonight. He hasn't been great last 2 starts. He's just had 4 strikeouts, 5 strikeouts the last 2 and lost both of those games. I think he bounces back tonight. So I'm going to take the first 5 innings with the run line and the Yankees here. I do think they'll be up after the first 5 innings. The Yankees, I'm not saying it's a must win because, you're still playing very good baseball as far as for the season. But I think they need this win before the weekend starts. Let's take the Yankees first 5 innings minus the half of run. All right.
You definitely are onto something, though, by the way. The strikeout, what you're talking about, in 15 starts, his last 2 starts were the lowest strikeout combined. So it's 5 and 4, so 9 strikeouts. So I think you're definitely onto something. I like him for the over in strikeouts tomorrow, too. That's a good spot.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a better start, and he kind of needs it. I mean, the Yankees need him to. I don't know if he's their ace, but he's definitely top 2 on this pitching staff, and he needs to have a good outing. The Yankees need to bring those bats. I think they will early. Rockies and the Nationals, another early game for you, 1:00 Eastern Standard Time, 9.5 is the total. Washington minus 160, even though they've lost the last 2 games as favorite. I'm not saying the Rockies are playing good baseball, but they're playing better than the Nationals right now, I see. What do you like here?
Yeah, they won 4 in a row, and they took 1 from my Braves, too, as well. So, Washington rolls in having – God, man, they're
10, right? 10 losses in a row.
It's wild. I mean, they were playing well, and then all of a sudden – that's how it happens, man. It happens fast. They've lost 11 in a row, 14 games under 500 now. It total sits at 9.5 as well. You have the public's on the under in this game, and you have Dolander here as he faces Williams. Dolander, did he face Washington this year? He has. He went 4 innings, 9 hits, and 6 runs, and he lost that game. He's going to be motivated. His last game was pretty good against Atlanta, 6 innings, 6 hits, and 3 runs. But as prior to that, he really struggled against the Mets. But he did go 6 innings, 1 hit, and 2 runs against Texas. I will tell you this: the worst start of the year for Dollander was against Washington. So I think he's going to be motivated. I think that's why that line is at plus 135. You have Trevor Williams comes in here. Has he faced Colorado? He has not. And he went 5 innings, 6 hits, to 2 runs against Miami. He actually pitched pretty well. But I got to tell you, this is a lot of value here for a Rockies team. Funny things happen. And a lot of value here for a Rockies team that's playing well, and Dollander with massive revenge. I'm taking the Rockies plus to 1.5. All right, Pirates here hooking against the Tigers. Tigers come in as minus 320 favorite. The Pirates is a plus 260 dog. Talk about a juice difference there, sitting around 60. Total's only at 7 here as Haney faces Skubal. And Pittsburgh lost 3-7 in their last game. What do you think?
There's a doubleheader here. This was a rain out from yesterday. A lot of rain here. I'm in Ohio, but a lot of rain. In fact, the Reds game only went 6 innings. This Tigers game was actually rained out. I like the under. I just think Skubal's right now, if he ended the season, he would be by like the huge AL Cy Young favorite to win. I think he's going to continue to his domination. It's not like the Pirates score lots of runs anyway. I was thinking like 4-1, 3-1 type of game. I like the under in this matchup. And I also think the first two, like if there's a doubleheader, I always first game. Just handicap it like a regular game. I always worry about the second game because now you have to say, okay, what if the pitching, what if Skubal gets injured and the pitching staff has to go extended innings? Okay, now you've already bet that game. So for me, I'm on the first game under in this Pirates game. All right, next game for you, I see we got the Cardinals and the White Sox. White Sox have at least played a little better lately. And when you're 3-7, that's something when you're saying they're playing a little better. But that's how bad they were before. We see the Cardinals with feed on the mound, minus 140, total 8.5. What do you think here? It almost seems like a trap game because Cardinals are only favored by minus 140.
Yeah, that worries me. They did win 12-2 recently, but the Cardinals are a funny team. They were rolling, and then they started to struggle too, and they haven't put together back-to-back wins in a while. White Sox, of course, and now have lost 6 straight in a row coming in as well. So 2 teams, both off losses. Fed here as he hooks up against Burke. Fed has not faced the White Sox this year. 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs in his last game. He lost to Milwaukee as a plus 144 dog. Dominated the Dodgers for 5 innings, 4 hits, and no runs, which is pretty impressive. And then you roll in here with Burke here as he faces Washington. 3 innings, 8 hits, and 7 runs. Bad start for him in his last effort. Has he faced St. Louis? He has not. So, he struggled in his last effort as well. So it was a bad effort. Giving up 7 runs, that's the most amount he's given up all year. But he's been a little up and down, but he did go 7 innings, 7 hits, and 2 runs against Detroit, 6 innings, 5 hits, and 2 runs against Baltimore. I think both these guys are in for, obviously a big bounce back. And, with this game being plus 20, I think the only way to look at this game is, the White Sox sort of being an active dog, but, an active dog sort of going to the under, because whenever the White Sox do well, it's actually a strong pitching performance, not offensive performance that they do well. Like when they won against Houston, it was 4-2, or Kansas City 4-1, or Detroit 3-2. I'm going to take the under between these 2 teams. All right. Milwaukee, I don't see a pitcher for Milwaukee yet. Do you?
No, the game was rained out yesterday, so you just never know on these, instances.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can skip it if you want. I'm looking at Milwaukee now, and I do not see a pitcher. No, I do. I see Peralta. Okay, so Freddie Peralta is pitching for Milwaukee tomorrow, and looks like the Cubbies are going to come in as a minus 115 favorite, okay? So Milwaukee rolls in here, losing to the Cubs 3-5 recently. They're facing the Cubs right now, who are hot right now, winning 3 straight. And who are obviously 45-20, have had a very strong season. Peralta and Tejon hooking up here on a total of 8.5. What do you think?
2 good pitchers. 2 teams that I did not expect this, to be very honest. I thought the Cubs would maybe win this division, but I thought it would be very tight. The Cubs have been way better than I thought. And shout out to our friend Nick Mencken, and a big Cubs guy. And I think maybe Raphael as well as a Cubs fan, I believe. But those guys got to be happy with what the Cubs have done this year. I mean, they're 17 games above 500. That's just a very big shock to me. I like the under in this game. Like this rain out yesterday, I kind of liked the over yesterday because the rain it was blowing out. But looking at the weather, I think it's going to be probably a less windy day. And I like the under with these two good pitchers on the mound. And both teams have been big under fans, big under players lately. Only one game has gone over for the Cubs with 2 pushes in the last 10 games. Brewers, not much different. Only 3 games gone over. So give me the under in this good pitching matchup here on Thursday afternoon, starting at 2:20 Eastern Standard Time. Now, we got a 2:30 game. We're going to skip this one, Royals and Rangers. There's some starters out there, Walker and Armstrong, but no lines. So we're going to skip this game. We're going to go, IC, to Diamondbacks and the Blue Jays. And the Blue Jays, I had written them off, IC. I'm going to be very honest. I had kind of kicked the dirt on their grave, earlier in the year when they were struggling, but they've been playing great baseball. 7 games above 500 now. Facing a Diamondbacks team, 1 game below 500. Gossman on the mound, minus 140 for Toronto, total 8.5. What do you like here?
Well, Arizona's lost 3 in a row now, and I like Arizona in general as a team, but they've lost 3 in a row and losing 4-5 and 1-8 to Toronto. And you're right, the Blue Jays were left for dead. I thought they were kind of left for dead too, and they've come back here to win back-to-back games, and they're 7 games above 500. Nelson and Gossman here. Nelson, has he pitched against Toronto? He has not. He went 5 innings, 6 hits, and no runs against San Diego. Really strong start, and he did have gave up no runs against the Pirates and no runs against Washington. He's got to come through for his ball club here, having lost back-to-back games. And I think he probably shows up here. Gossman rolls in, and has he pitched against Arizona? He has not this year. He went 5 innings, 4 hits, and 4 runs against Philadelphia. Comes off a loss. And his other 4 starts were wins. But I got to tell you something. He's given up 9 walks in his last 3 games. He's given up a home run in 3 of his last 4 games. He's given up 10 runs in his last 3 starts. I think he's been a little sketchy here. And a lot of value here for an Arizona team that's, took 2 or 3 from San Diego, swept Seattle, swept my Braves, and now they come in off of rare 3 losses. You got to go pretty far for them to see them lose 4 in a row. They had a stretch in April, but that's about it. And they have a good pitcher here, Nelson. Good dog price, too. Good public fade. I'm taking Arizona here. As far as Cleveland hooking up against San Francisco, you have the Guardians who roll in here as a plus 145 dog. They did win 3-2 recently. And San Francisco rolls in, obviously losing 3 in a row. And you have Williams and Webb here. Webb comes in as a solid minus 170 favorite. What do you think on a total of 7?
Well, as we're filming this, Cleveland's actually up in this game as well. So you could take another game in this series. They're up 4-2 in the top of the 9th. Cleveland's one of those teams last year, played a million close games. I mean, they won a ton of them. For a little stretch here, they struggled in those close games this year. But I don't think Webb's has the edge pitching for sure over Williams for the Guardians. But I don't think it's minus 170 on a team. Even with they got Devers, they went out and got it. They needed offense. They got it. One guy doesn't make that big a difference to me. And I think, to me, you take Cleveland at the plus 150 price. I just think it's a sweet price. They've already won 2 games of this series. I think this is closer to a minus 120 or minus 125 game. So you give me that extra break when it comes to line. I'm going to take Cleveland here. And yes, I think they might be down early, but I think they can get to that bullpen late. Let's take Cleveland as an underdog at a big price of plus 150 today. All right, I see. Now we have the second game of this, right? I think when we played the Cardinals earlier, St. Louis plays the White Sox today in the second half of the doubleheader. In this one, McEvee's on the mound for St. Louis, minus 165, total 8.5. What do you like in the second of the doubleheader here? Yeah,
second games are very tricky. I would say sloppy seconds, if you will. But I'd get someone will call me.
I might get in trouble for that one.
Yeah, I might get in trouble for that one too. So all of my jokes, in this politically correct world, but yeah, Michael McGreevy here, 6 innings, 8 hits. You know what I can do for all my jokes? I can always start the first half and then let people finish the second half. Yeah, then I can't get in trouble. And it's like you're the one with the dirty mind. I just gave you the first half. So, IC said this. No, you said it. So you should get yourself in trouble because I see only said the first half of it. So, Michael McGreevy here, 6 innings, 8 hits, and 4 runs against the Dodgers. He lost his last game. I knew he was going to get shelled in that game because he went 5 innings, 1 hit, no runs against the Mets. You're not going to beat the Mets and Dodgers in consecutive efforts if those are your first 2 starts ever for the year. So I do think he's going to bounce back probably here. You have Vassell here who rolls in. He's been sort of a relief pitcher, but he's got a 1.99 ERA. He's actually pitched pretty well. Let me check something about him. Recently, and I think what you have here is you have the St. Louis pitcher who's on a bounce back. You have a young White Sox pitcher who's actually pitched pretty well. The total is what's fascinating about this game is that it came in at 8.5 with 2 young guys with typically higher or lower ERAs. I can sort of see this game. I mean, I think you got to go Cardinals run line at the end of the day because McGreevy does have the potential to shut out the Mets basically, and then he struggled right out next game. I think that he's going to bounce back, and plus you have a White Sox pitcher that comes in with a 1.99 ERA, and that's never going to bode well because you're just going to get value on that pitcher, but he's going to get shelled is what's going to happen. So I'm going to take the Cards on the run line here. All right, Pirates hooking against Detroit, and this again is another doubleheader, right? So yeah, you have Skeens who comes in as a massive underdog here. I don't have a Detroit pitcher for the second half. Let me see if I might though. Just give me one. No, it's undecided right now.
This line has to be wrong. No way Skeens is a plus 255.
And you are correct. You are correct because in an offshore line it says minus 140. So that line is wrong. So Skeens right now is a minus 140. Against Detroit, but we don't know the Detroit pitcher, so we're going to keep it going here. Philadelphia, as they hook up against Miami, Phillies a minus 180 favorite on a total of 7.5, which is pretty low. Sanchez and Cabrera hooking up here. Philly did beat the the Marlins recently, 4-2. They've taken 2 of 3. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean the Marlins. I mean, just a week and a half ago, they got swept by Colorado. That tells you kind of all you need to know, kind of where the Marlins' heads are. But they did at least win the middle game of the 3 games so far in the series. So, but I just can't play the Marlins. So then it becomes, how do you find value playing the Phillies in this matchup? Do you lay the 1.5? Do you take the first 5 innings? I think the safer play, you take the first 5 innings. I am not sold on this Phillies bullpen. That is the scare. That's why I wouldn't lay the run line in this game, because they just have imploded in too many games this year. I think you take Philly first 5 innings, got a nice starting pitching edge. I like the Phillies offense. You lay the minus 0.5 run line in this one. So all they have to do is be up 1 run, and you get them close to minus 120. I think that's the value. That's how you play this game. Phillies take it out on the Marlins. Next game for UIC, it just happens. It seems like you always have your Braves. Mets and the Braves. Braves have kind of battled back in this series. They're only 6 games above 500. And when you beat the team ahead of you, that actually counts double because now you gain a full game head on them. Strider on the mound tonight, minus 130, total 8.5. Can the Braves keep it going?
I think so, man. I'm telling you, I thought this series was going to be the series that the Braves sort of do well here. And you knew the Braves have been favored every single game this series. Okay. So you have the Mets here who have now lost 5 in a row. I mean, they got swept by Tampa Bay. They just can't score runs sometimes. They got swept by Tampa Bay. Now they've lost 2 in a row to the Braves. The Braves are just 6 games under 500. They're only 6 games back from the playoffs. They just got to beat the Brewers. Brewers have 39 wins. They're the second in the division. And we're in June. We haven't even made it to July. So Atlanta knows they're still, remember the beginning of the year, you remember how bad the Atlanta started. So they were, I think, 1-8 at one point, I think. So the Braves coming off back-to-back wins. They've won 5 of their last 6. Good time to see the Rockies. And they're playing really well right now. You have Holmes, who's actually been really strong this year. And as he faced Atlanta, he has not. He went 5 innings, 3 hits, and 1 run against Tampa Bay, and he lost. But that's a bad sign considering that's the lowest hit total. That's one of the lowest hit totals he's had this year, and he still lost that game. And he's given up around 4 home runs in his last 3 games. He's given up 8 home runs in his last 5 games. He's certainly been hittable. And then you have Strider here who comes in here who's got a 4.35 ERA. He went 6 innings, 3 hits, and no runs against Colorado, but, he did have 13 strikeouts that game. He hasn't faced the Mets yet. Looks like he is finding his form, right? slowly but surely. This is a guy that, about 2022, he had a 2.67 ERA, and then he struggled a little bit. I think the Braves are starting to move up, man, and I'm going to take Strider here. I think Holmes has been hittable for sure, and I think the Braves are going to get to him today because that's what they've been doing all series. So Baltimore and Tampa Bay, Morton and Rasmussen here. Baltimore comes in as a plus 125 dog. They recently lost yesterday 8-12 to the Rays. That was my free play winner, and it wasn't there. And Tampa Bay comes in this game playing really well. They've won 5 of their last 6. They just play good baseball. They swept the Mets as well. Talk about a series price that you would have lost a lot of money on. A lot of these people that play these series prices. But Baltimore facing Tampa Bay. Morton on the mound with a 6 ERA against Rasmussen, but only a plus 125 dog on an 8.5 line on a total. What do you think?
Love the Rays today. I love them. I think they've won 2 of the 3 to start the series, I believe. Rasmussen, he wasn't unbelievable last time out, but still got the win. They've the last 6 starts, Rays won every one of them. He's one of those guys. I wonder if the Rays got a phone call with him if he's available, because the Rays are a team that they always are trading guys on the upside. Guys are having good years, they trade them away. They're always strengthen numbers because when you don't have a big payroll, that's kind of what you have to do. But I love Rasmussen in this matchup. Morton, I think, is way past his prime when it comes to his stats. And you look at it, it's like a 6.05 ERA on the year. And the Orioles, they're going nowhere fast, even though they have been a little better, 5-5 in the last 10 games. Give me the Rays, hot 7-3 run in the last 10 games. I think the Rays get it done. I think it's a steal of a price at minus 150, to be honest, with the big starting pitching edge in this one. All right, last play for you, Astros and the A's. Astros up, I believe, 9-2 in the 7th, bottom of the 7th, I believe. Astros favor minus 130 in this matchup. Total of 10.5. A's just 13-24, so they lose today 13-25 at home. Been really struggling, and I say Oakland. It's Sacramento A's, even though they don't want to call themselves that.
Yeah, you have what score do you see Houston and Oakland right now? Oakland
9-2, top of the 8th inning now.
Yeah, I mean, God, they're just crushing them again. So they've won back-to-back games in big fashion. They beat them 13-3 the other day. All of a sudden, they've turned their season around. Houston was kind of back and forth a little bit, and now just like that, they've turned it on. They're about to win 7 of their last 8 coming into this game. The total on yesterday's game was 11, and it went over. And the total on today's game, it's going to go over 2. But shockingly, they're only a minus 130 favorite here with Gordon and Lopez. Gordon has not faced Oakland this year. He went 6 innings, 6 hits, and 2 runs against Minnesota. He's due for a letdown for sure. He comes out back-to-back wins, but he's giving up over a hit per inning. He gave up 2 home runs in his last game. I think you either got to look at the over or you got to even look at possibly Oakland here, but that's always scary. But, Oakland did sweep Kansas City, and they come up back-to-back ugly losses. And sometimes when you get destroyed like that, you show up the next game. You have Lopez here, who hasn't pitched against Houston this year. He went 6 innings, 3 hits, and no runs against Kansas City. 4 innings, 4 hits, and no runs against Baltimore. He's had back-to-back really good starts. He also went 7 innings, 3 hits, and 1 run against Philadelphia. He's been pretty decent. I'm going to shock you here. I'm going to take Oakland plus the 110 or 115. Fantastic public fade. All right, last game on the board. No Ohtani today, but Yamamoto is there. San Diego versus the LA Dodgers. Bergert and Yamamoto here, and the Dodgers come in as a minus 250 favorite here. Obviously, the Padres have lost a couple of the Dodgers already in this series. What do you think on a total of 9?
Yeah, and the Dodgers up in the middle of the 8th inning, 3-1. So Dodgers aren't playing great baseball. It's almost like, and I hate to say this, but it's like, you're at this point of the season and you're like, hey, when do the playoffs start if you're the Dodgers? And when you do that, you're going to have these lulls, that they've kind of gone through. But they're battling, they're finding ways to win games, which is good because a good team cannot play their best and still win. And I think they could probably play their B game and win today. I think they have a pretty big starting pitching hedge, Berger versus Yamamoto for the Dodgers. To me, it's just about finding value. How do you find value at the minus 250? Obviously, I would never bet the minus 250. I don't think you just take the 1.5. I think you lay the minus 2.5 in this one. I think the Dodgers offense they're sitting on a big game. Like they're going to have a big outing. I think it's this one. I think they get 6+ runs. I was thinking like 6-1, 6-2 type game. So I'm swinging for the fences a little bit. Minus 2.5. You get it at like minus 105 to minus 102. I see in a lot of books out there. So lay the minus 2.5 with the Dodgers today. So that's your last free pick for today. Don't forget, going to have IC is going to have a 7 or 8 unit play in the WNBA today. I'm going to have either a 6 or 7 unit play in the NBA. I'm finalizing the numbers as we speak. And then we'll both have plays in Major League Baseball. So you can check those out. Go to docsports.com, go to the members area, and you can get either the WNBA if you want the IC. If you want the NBA, get me. If you want Major League Baseball, you get either one of us. Go over there. And don't forget, I got a promo code for you. June 10 saves you 10%. So if you're listening in late, use that June 10 promo code. I see. We forgot to mention at the beginning. Hit that like and subscribe button so make sure you don't miss out on everything we do here every day. We give out once a week. We cover the entire card, IC and I. And it's a little secret that we're going to let out right now. Come football season, we're going to be doing more of these with all the football games. So you don't want to miss out. So you hit that subscribe button now. You'll get notifications when we post our stuff come either baseball now or football come football season in a few months. So IC, thank you again for joining in. Make sure you get on IC stuff. Don't forget, June 10, get you 10% off. All you got to do instead of $30 for a day pick becomes $27. So make sure you use that little extra money for you guys to bet with. Good luck. We'll see you again next time.